Something else I'm working on over here, though, is I'm finding to be quite interesting. I was just sitting and thinking, well, what's the next biggest, most important thing to do? And I don't know. I picked up this wiper motor, started looking at it, and first of all, I couldn't figure out how it would come apart, because it looks like these little doohickeys here are threaded. But I didn't think they had heads on them, but when I got to studying them, they do. But they have the funniest little heads. They've got like little flat, elongated heads. And I thought, well, you know, that looks like it's made to put a pair of pliers on. So I put a pair of pliers on there and started turning it, and lo and behold, look at there, it's coming right out. I'm wondering if they didn't make this to be, well, you know, back in the old days, they made things to be repaired with some pretty simple tools. You know, nowadays, if you don't have a big old, you know, $7,000 snap-on tool cabinet with every specialty tool in the world, you can't fix a car. But I guess back in the old days, if you had a pair of pliers and a hammer and an adjustable wrench, you could. Look at that. Isn't that sweet? I did get this thing to turn, and I can hear the vacuum sound. I had a dirt dauber's nest in here, and I stuck a screwdriver in there and broke that out and squirted a little WD-40 in there. But if you listen, hear that vacuum sound? So I'm wondering if this thing wasn't taken apart and cleaned out and had some vacuum put to it, whether it might not work. You just never know till you try. Looks like that got a little damage there from somewhere. I don't know what. Anyway, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to see if I can pop all these little funny-headed screws out of it. Somebody suggested, and you can do this, I've seen it done on street rods, you can actually have a little handle that comes into the dash and just turn the handle. And if I can't fix this, I'll just take it apart and use the shaft and attach it to a wrench that comes through the dash and just turn that handle and work it that way. You know, in a car like this, the windshield wiper is kind of a joke anyway. I mean, I'd be a little bit insane to drive this thing in the rain with no roof and all. But they do require a wiper, so, you know, that's what I say, even the tea buckets and stuff, a lot of times they'll have a little handle that hangs down, and they move the handle, it moves the windshield wiper, and it you know, it's good enough, passes inspection, even though everybody knows it's a useless piece of equipment. But sometimes laws like that, you know, they just, I don't know, they just make laws, and they don't make any sense. But us regular folk, we just have to try and figure it out and do the best we can, because none of us got the money to go fight the law. So we just, you know, we do stuff like this. So it's okay. I can handle it. I've been doing it all my life. I still can. Sometimes living on the edge of being an outlaw is what you have to do, but, you know, still okay. We ain't hurt nobody. Ooh, look at that. It's coming out real pretty. Alright, I'll shut up and work on this thing a while, and then show you what it looks like when I get it apart. Well, I went ahead and put this thing back together because it occurred to me about the time I started taking it apart that it might work. You never know. Sometimes these things do. I've seen 63 Impala clean up some old junk and have it work, but it didn't work. And so I'm going to go ahead and take it apart. I'm actually thinking more and more about putting a little handle on the dash, just because it's quick and dirty, it's painless, it's flawless. Once it's done, it's done. It isn't going to go anywhere. That's an interesting old rod. I don't know if the parts store can get me a wiper to fit onto that or not. I might have to order one of those, but I'd like to just have it done, get it over with, and move on. So I think I'm going to whip this thing apart and see if I can't fabricate up a little hand crank windshield wiper doohickey. That's the plan.